Winterwood Lodge stood tall amidst the dense pine forest, its stone facade adorned with flickering Christmas lights. Nestled in the heart of the wilderness, it was a place of both wonder and dread during the holiday season. Legend had it that the lodge was haunted, its halls echoing with the whispers of the past. The Taylor family had rented Winterwood Lodge for a cozy Christmas getaway, seeking solace from the bustle of city life. Mark, Emily, and their two children, Sarah and David, arrived on a chilly December evening, excited for a week of festivities in the snowy wilderness. As they settled into the lodge, Sarah, an adventurous teenager, couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. She brushed it off as nerves, but as night fell, strange occurrences began to unfold. On the first night, Sarah woke to the sound of footsteps echoing through the empty halls. She crept out of her room, heart pounding, only to find the corridors deserted. Dismissing it as her imagination, she returned to bed, but sleep eluded her. The next morning, Sarah found frost patterns etched onto her window, spelling out a chilling message: "Leave this place." She showed it to her family, but they brushed it off as a prank. That evening, as they gathered around the fireplace, a blizzard raged outside. The power flickered, casting eerie shadows across the room. Suddenly, the fire extinguished, plunging them into darkness. Panic set in as they fumbled for flashlights. But when the lights flickered back on, Sarah let out a blood-curdling scream. Reflected in the window was the figure of a woman, her eyes hollow and devoid of life. And then she vanished into thin air. Terrified, the Taylor family huddled together, unsure of what to do next. Mark suggested they leave immediately, but the storm had intensified, trapping them inside the lodge. As the night wore on, the temperature plummeted, and the atmosphere grew increasingly oppressive. Strange noises echoed through the lodge, whispers in the walls, footsteps in the attic. Emily couldn't shake the feeling that they were not alone. Desperate for answers, Mark searched the lodge for clues to its dark past. In the library, he found an old journal belonging to the lodge's original owner, Elias Winterwood. The entries spoke of tragedy and loss, of a wife driven mad by grief, of children lost to the forest, of a curse that plagued Winterwood Lodge for generations. Determined to break the curse, Mark ventured into the forest, braving the howling winds and biting cold. He followed a trail of footprints through the snow until he reached a clearing where an ancient tree stood, its branches twisted like gnarled fingers. Suddenly, a voice spoke from the shadows, a voice that seemed to emanate from the very earth itself. It was the spirit of Elias Winterwood, doomed to wander the forest for eternity. Elias revealed the tragic history of Winterwood Lodge, the deaths, the betrayals, the blood that stained its walls. He spoke of a ritual that could cleanse the lodge of its curse, but it required a sacrifice, one of pure heart and noble spirit. Mark knew what he had to do. He returned to the lodge and gathered his family, telling them of the ritual and the sacrifice it demanded. Emily pleaded with him to reconsider, but Mark was resolute. He would do whatever it took to save his family. Together, they performed the ritual, chanting incantations as the lodge trembled around them. And then, in a blinding flash of light, the curse was broken. The air grew still, and the whispers ceased. As dawn broke over the horizon, the Taylor family emerged from Winterwood Lodge, exhausted but triumphant. The curse had been lifted, and the lodge was theirs once more. But as they drove away, leaving the forest behind them, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. And somewhere in the shadows of the trees, a pair of hollow eyes watched them go, their hunger for revenge as cold as the winter snow.